It's incredibly imaginative. It requires incredible invention. It requires unbelievable improv skills. It forces you to work together.
C'est un cul-de-sac! Simon! Oh!
Transporte-nous ailleurs!
Your cast is really eclectic, but not just your cast, your characters as well. Which traits of your character was the most enjoyable and the most challenging to play?
Edgin's kind of a lot like me. You know, I mean, that's what appealed to me about him, is that he's, I feel this, the great thing about acting is it involves a great amount of lying and pretending. And so I think as me as a human, I've used humor and charm and anything I basically can do to obfuscate my grand failings and my insecurities.
I enjoyed playing my character. I got to most Michelle gave me a soundtrack every time I walked into a room. This is what I lived through for months.
He's gonna get this all day.
All day.
He's a guy that's just trying to make things work. He's the great motivator. He's the great, even in the darkest of times, he's using what little means he has to make things better.
It was fun just kind of getting to bring what was in your head to this set and then pass it off to this cast, because it's an ensemble movie. And so every day was a joy to just turn up and kind of see what people would come up with, you know?
It's enjoyable to be the bad guy, always. Actors love doing that. Film acting, terrifying, still, after 30, 40 years of doing it. Just the moment when they say, Hugh, can you come out of your trailer now and do your close-up? Oh, I can't even think about it, it's so frightening.
I just love being able to be animalistic and not have to answer to anyone about it. It was freedom for me. Channel my anger, walk around, you know, as free as I wanted to be, and I don't have to worry about anybody saying anything because I'm accepted for that. And I felt good.
Yeah, and it helps when you have an axe.
It does. It does help when I have an axe. I'm telling you, my hair was so long, I could braid it.
And you were so proud of it. And
I
it
was so
fun
proud. Anytime
watching you be
I could show it on screen, I was like.
I loved all those monsters, the animatronic ones. And I loved the people who made the monsters, who have sort of turned into monsters themselves. They're strange men who can, you know, do things with little wires and little devices, who squat in the corner of the set wearing completely black so that you can't see them. They're terrifying. They should have been in the film.
I fell in love with the group that was doing the special effects because I would go visit them every day and see them build new creatures from scratch, watch them make molds and put the makeup on, and then, you know, create the animatronics, so set up this robotic mechanism for all of these animals all these creatures to move. And then also the art department was fantastic. So I got to hang out with Chan, who built all of the sets from scratch. If you look at the background, there's so much detail that you guys will be able to, like, anybody who's really cares and is looking for, like, the detail will be able to pick it out. And I think they just put so much work in.
Oh, yeah.
I was every day just going to different departments being like, what are you doing today?
Yeah, we got to just turn up and live in this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, everything was there in front of us. The sets were meticulous to the detail. The monsters were like really there in front of you, dangling their eyeballs and everything.
Yeah.
Like, we're having a great time.
I'm a teacher, and my kids pretty much never played D&Ds before. It's kind of new for them. How do you feel about introducing this word, amazing word, to this new generation, not just the fan base?
I didn't know anything about Donjons and Dragons, and then we played together as a family. My nephew took us through a game. But what I saw, which was so incredible, is it's incredibly imaginative. It requires incredible invention. It requires unbelievable improv skills. It forces you to work together. And even if you're not working together, you learn something by having conflict in that scenario. So I think, as a proselytizer of all things D&D, I think it should be taught in schools, because obviously there's hierarchies in all schools with the cool kids and whatever, but I promise you sit them down at a table, they may guffaw at having to, like, fight dragons, but within 12 minutes, they're in a full argument about whether or not they should have crossed the boulder to kill the dragon or whatever. I think the great thing about role-playing is it requires full subjectivity in the experience. You bring yourself to the experience. And so it's either learning something about the power of the imagination, or it's learning something about conflict resolution or whatever. I think the power of it is play, and what we all do as children is play. We play all the time.
I think that, it generates a sense of innovation in children. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing because, when you kill the imagination, you're kind of killing the kid. You know what I mean? And so I think to exercise this, especially in a world where there's so much pressure to be academically competitive and to be good at what you do and to get ready for business and for being out there in the competition, I'm like, put all that to the side for a second and exercise your ability to create something out of nothing. That is where the magic is. And if kids can really exercise that, they will be good as adults for the rest of their lives because that's what it's all about. You know what I mean?